In the world of real estate appraisals, there are a lot of firms out there. I mean, if you think about it, if you're like me and you're an appraiser working by yourself, that could be considered an independent appraisal firm. And a lot of us think in those terms. But there are some nationwide and regional firms that do the work and service a lot of clients. Jim Morrison, our producer here at the Appraisal Buzz, came up with the idea of the Buzzy Awards. And one of the categories was Appraisal AMC or Appraisal Firm of the Year. We put it out to the appraisal community, and they made their nominations. Then we put it out for vote, and it was an absolutely clear decision for the Appraisal Firm of the Year. You want to know who the Appraisal Firm of the Year is? Stick around. Join me after the break. Find out.
You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast with your host, Hal Humphreys.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm Jim Morrison. With us, as always, as our host, Hal Humphreys. Let me bring him in. Hey, Hal, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, I'm so excited because we are starting our series of interviewing our 2025 Buzzy Award winners. And we are interviewing today Dr. Randy Flowers from RSDS. Let me bring him in. Hey, Randy, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Randy, man, it is so good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here. I'm incredibly excited about you being on the Buzzcast with us. You're representing RSDS, and you're our inaugural winner of the Buzzy Award this year, and I'm tickled about that. But before we get into kind of chatting about that, tell me a little bit about yourself and your history in this business so our listeners can get a little bit more information about you, know a little bit about you.
Awesome. Well, one, thank you guys for having me again. My name is Randy Flowers, and I serve as President of Operations here at RSDS. I want to say how thankful I am for those who support RSDS and receiving this award. This award is not possible, first, without the support of the community, and second, the most important piece, every team member at RSDS. This award symbolizes the amazing work each of them does every day and the time and dedication they give to their career. This award is an RSDS award and every stakeholder that makes this moment possible. You know, RSDS was established to address the longstanding issue in the appraisal profession, the barrier to entry. You know, our solution involves actively hiring and training the next generation of appraisers while fostering high-paying career opportunities. As a result of these efforts, RSDS has trained and graduated 82 appraisers. Beyond that, RSDS collaborates with the Department of Defense, the Appraisal Diversity Initiative, the Appraisal Foundation Industry Advisory Council, the OCC Project Reach, along with many others on these efforts. Beyond our training, we are also dedicated to providing career opportunities for staff appraisers who want to collaborate with lenders and AMCs. You know, we currently have roughly 250 appraisers actively working in 35 states. Our appraisers are committed to providing quality work product while utilizing advanced technology solutions. So, you know, RSDS is committed to growing its proprietary order management technology solutions and leveraging industry-leading products for the appraisal development process, including data analytic tools and quality control systems.
All right, so do me a favor, Randy. Tell me about you. How long have you been in this industry? How long have you been involved in the real estate appraisal industry?
Yeah, I've been in the appraisal space for 4 years. I come from higher education. I was a dean at a private college before this. I got my doctorate in education and worked with college students every day. And I did that for a little over 10 years. And I had started to hear about the appraisal space and the need to get more appraisers into the space. And through that, become the evolution of RSDS. And so I left the higher education space, joined the appraisal space as a trainee. I had to learn what does an appraiser do? What goes into their daily operation? And so I took that on and I learned how to develop an appraisal, and then took a step back and said, okay, now that I know this, what should someone go through each and every day to build a 365-day training program to help support those trying to enter the profession and give them that enriching learning environment to be successful in this career, and really allow that opportunity for those trying to get into the appraisal industry.
Let me ask you this, Randy. There's a lot, and I know I'm going off script, but just bear with me here. There's a lot of chatter out there on Facebook and in other venues. I saw one on LinkedIn the other day, some pretty negative comments about the appraisal industry. Just between you and me, right here. If someone came to you and said, Dr. Randy, I want to be an appraiser, would you tell them that's a good idea?
Absolutely. I think the appraisal profession has a lot to bring. I think it's a profession that is evolving, and I think some people struggle with that change. But the need for an appraiser is always going to be here. I mean, there is a lot of collateral that is being evaluated, and the risk that's involved with that collateral. Now, how we do that, it's going to continue to evolve. The technology, it's going to continue to evolve. It's going to be more driven on data analytics. But I think it's a career that has much needed change, has needed advancement in technology. Every occupation is advancing in technology. And so I think someone entering the profession today should embrace that, should help provide feedback. I think the industry is listening and saying, bring your voice. I think people outside the industry and the mortgage space are asking to bring your voice. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for things that we don't even know. We don't even know where the industry is going to be in 10 years. And being at the table is allowing it to evolve.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. I mean, one of the best ways I've heard it explained recently, get on the train or you might get left at the station. Things are changing.
100%. And that's how it is with every profession. I think some people are taking it personal and they're saying this is only coming after appraisers. No, every industry is evolving. AI is evolving. The amount of information that we can process today and at the speed we can process that information is so fast that everything is changing. It's not just the appraisal space, and we as humans need to embrace that. Can you imagine the people that didn't embrace the internet or didn't embrace cell phone, didn't embrace? There's so many technology advances that we've seen in our lifetime, and people have the choice to accept it or not. But it's going to continue to progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Randy, thank you so much for the kind of personal history and telling us where you came from, how you got here. And thank you also for just talking to me about, people coming into the business, the rapid pace of change, those kind of things. I think it's critically important that we get out a positive message to people that are looking at becoming appraisers. Look, my thought is this industry has been very good to me for the past 30 plus years. I love appraisal work. I think it is fun. It's entertaining. It feels useful. It feels like something that I can kind of get my head around. And I don't think it's going away, folks. Let's do this. I want to take a real quick break, and we'll hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
LIA Administrators and Insurance Services, serving valuation professionals since 1978. We provide E&O insurance with a commitment to superior customer service, outstanding liability education, and unmatched claim defense. Explore our exclusive appraiser liability education by Peter Christensen and cost-effective seminars designed to foster your growth. Our underwriters, with an average of 26 years of experience each, are dedicated to supporting appraisers. Visit liability.com to discover how LIA can safeguard your business.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm Hal Humphreys, your host, and I'm joined today by Dr. Randy Flowers of RSDS. And RSDS is the first recipient of the first year of Buzzy Awards of the AMC, or Appraisal Firm of the Year. Randy, congratulations on the award. I'm telling you, you had some pretty tough competition in this category. There were a lot of nominees, a lot of voting on this. Tell me, just in your own words, what is one reason why you think RSDS stands out as a leader in this industry?
I think RSDS works each day to raise the bar around service in the industry. And service is a very broad term, but I think we focus on service to our clients, trying to provide on-time appraisals, quality appraisals, and providing communication through that appraisal process. Uh, that is industry leading. We update every order by 9 a.m. local time, even if the order is the same as the day before. Beyond that, I think RSDS has got its name because of its, bringing trainees into the space. And I think we can talk about how we've graduated, 82 trainees up to date. But I think more importantly, it's trying to change the entire agenda around training and really trying to bring visibility that there's three pathways into the industry. The supervisor model has been the focus for so long. And we most recently have now, brought Bahria into the market, which it's, bringing additional folks in. But, practicum has also been on the books for so long. And so I think it's one, educating people on this additional pathway. I think it's working with regulators to try to bring this as an opportunity into the industry, and then trying to figure out how can we leverage all of this to provide opportunities to those that currently are not here, and how can we break down the barriers to entry? How can we work with the states to break down the barriers and develop this industry for years to come?
I love it. Here's the thing. Randy, you and I have known each other for the past couple of years now. We've interacted at conferences. We've gotten to know each other. I think RSDS does a really good job of bringing in some talented, young, excited people into this business. I've met some of them personally and been really impressed with them, just as individuals, not as appraisers, but just as individuals. So thank you for that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a real quick break, and we're going to hear from another one of our sponsors, and then we'll be right back.
Are you ready to take your career in real estate appraisal to the next level? Join the Appraisal Institute, your go-to source for expert insights, industry trends, and the latest updates from the world of valuation. Whether you're an experienced appraiser or just starting out, they bring you industry resources, classes, and all the knowledge you need to stay ahead. Join today and be part of a community that's shaping the future of the appraisal profession. Visit appraisalinstitute.org to learn more and become a member.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm Hal Humphreys, your host, and I'm joined today by Dr. Randy Flowers of RSDS. Randy, RSDS has made it known how important it is to bring new trainees into the industry. We just talked about that before the break. Why is this so important to you?
I think it's so important to me because it's been so hard for folks to get into the industry. Last year we had 3,400 applicants to be a trainee at RSDS, 3,400 people saying, I want to get into the industry. And the reality is we as a company can't do that on our own. We can't even do that. I think as an industry, we can't bring 3,400 people in through the supervisor model. And so this is why we've got to look at alternative methods of getting people into the industry. How do we incentivize each of those models, not just one model, but all the models, and provide the access? If we can be providing the access, then a lot of the other pieces are going to come in. We're going to be able to provide more diversity. We're going to be able to bring more robust thinking into the industry. We're going to be able to bring advanced technologies, but it all starts with providing the opportunity.
Yeah, and along those lines, what are your plans at RSDS for the upcoming year to bring new people into the business?
I think at a very high level, I want to continue working with state regulators and industry leaders to find ways to financially incentivize the training process. The appraisal subcommittee is sitting on quite a bit of financial dollars that is used to advance the profession. Not all of the dollars will go to training, but I think if we could take some of those funds and incentivize training, I think that can help. I think if we can use those dollars and incentivize each of the different pathways, building robust training programs across the country, I think we will then have people getting into the space. And so this is what RSDS is focusing on. We're really focusing right now on trying to develop a practicum that's not only approved in states, but nationally approved. And this is something that we're strongly committed to. But beyond that, we are also a partner of the Department of Defense with our Skill Bridge program and providing opportunity for the service members who have been representing our country and have been, providing the ultimate sacrifice to our country. And so, we look forward in 2025, continuing to expand our Department of Defense program and working with them to provide them the training and skills to have high-paying careers following their enlistment. And so I'm just really blessed for everybody that partners with us each day. The Department of Defense, our lending partners, our AMC partners, our educational providers, our technology providers, because it takes a community. It takes a community to work on this together and say we should be committed to this together. It's not one against another. It's all of us together.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Randy Flowers, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. I'm so excited that RSDS is the first recipient of the Appraisal Firm of the Year award through the Buzzy Awards. It's always good to see you and spend some time with you. Randy, there's a thing that Jim Morrison has been doing to me for the past couple of years, and it drives me nuts, but he keeps on posting out in the ether, ask anonymous appraiser questions, ask anonymous appraiser questions. And I'm curious, Jim Morrison, do we have an anonymous appraiser question today?
We do. And even though this is an award recipient, we're not letting you off the hook. So we do have an anonymous appraiser. If anybody has some questions for our experts, reach out to us at comments@appraisalbuzz.com or just post them on our YouTube. So this question says, I've taken on a trainee for the first time, and I need to add commentary that a trainee provided significant assistance on a report. Is there a proper way to do it, a proper comment and location for it?
Well, I'll take a quick stab and just say you have to disclose that significant assistance. Standards, USPAP Standard 2-2 requires you to disclose that assistance. And then you have to certify it. Standard 2-3 says you got to put it in the certification. Aside from that, USPAP isn't entirely clear on where you put that, what you say exactly. Randy, what are your thoughts on what they should say for significant professional assistance from a trainee?
Yeah, I think there's three aspects that need to be in there. One, who provided the significant assistance? Two, what is the license number of the individual that's providing the significant assistance, if they have a license number? And then three, what was the scope of work that was provided? So getting down to, they identified the subject's assignment, they developed the scope of the work, they measured and calculated the subject properties finished and unfinished, inspected comparable properties. Just each of those aspects that make up the appraisal process, they need to each be identified in there. And so explicitly what each person worked on and how they provided to the development of that appraisal.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. If you've got a trainee and you're having them do some work in the appraisal report, again, Standard 2-2 requires you to disclose that. Standard 2-3 requires that you put that in the certification. I like the notion of putting that in the actual scope of work description that you use as an appraiser in the report that you're doing. But you can put it pretty much anywhere in the report as long as it is not tucked away in a 2-point font somewhere. It needs to be clear and readily readable. But at the end of the day, say who did it, what they did, and the fact that you relied on their work and that you trust their work. I think if you do those things, you're probably going to be just fine as a mentor.
Yeah, and I think it's really also important for the trainee to have that in there because unfortunately, there are people that have dealt with life events and something has happened with their trainer. And if you can go back to the state and you can show these work products and you can show what you worked on and how you worked on it together, the state's more likely going to be able to work with you in establishing what can we do from here moving forward. But it starts with following USPAP.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you say it's good for the trainee. Here's the thing. Way back in the day when I got my license 30 some odd years ago, the appraiser that I was working with disclosed what I did in every report. And when I went to apply for my license with my experience log, the fact that he had disclosed that in the certification and in the report added weight to my experience credit. So telling the states what your trainee did and how much contribution they made will help them with their experience requirements. So look, here's the thing. Randy, tell me if you agree with me. It's the right thing to do to give credit where credit is due. It is required by USPAP, and it's helpful to all parties involved.
100% agree. I could tell you one reason why you would not want to disclose it.
Yeah. Okay, Randy, thank you for your answer. Jim Morrison, do we have anything else we need to answer today?
No, that covers it. Thank you so much, Randy. We're really proud to have RSDS as our Appraiser Firm of the Year, our first Buzzy Awards. We're going to be having the awards ceremony at Valuation Expo, August 12th. So all the people attending Valuation Expo, Randy and RSDS will be there as well. So we really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to it.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Randy, thank you. And if we have nothing else, I'm Hal Humphreys for Jim Morrison and Dr. Randy Flowers from RSDS, the recipient of this year's Buzzy Award for Appraisal Firm of the Year. That is your Appraisal Buzzcast for this week.